Hi guys, welcome back to Treacleb Bakes today. It's Rachel and I welcome you back to the channel. Today we're going to be making a maple and pecan cake, and we've made this before and the texture's fabulous. My family loved it. We reuse obviously pecans and finely chopped in the cake, and also the maple syrup makes it fabulous. It makes it really great tasting. So what we're going to do now is going to cut back and we'll go to the ingredients. So let's have a look at the ingredients we're going to pop into this cake mixture. So first off the bat, we have 150 grams of soft butter or spreadable butter, and we've got 150 grams of caster sugar and 150 grams of self-raising flour. Then we've got a tablespoon of maple syrup going in there, and 50 grams of chopped pecan nuts. We want a teaspoon of baking powder and 3 large eggs. And then what we're also going to need for the actual topping and the middle of the cake, we're going to need 250 grams of mascarpone, and we're also going to need another 100 grams of chopped pecans. Now we're going to roughly chop those, but we'll have a look at that and how that all goes together with some maple syrup later. Okay, we're going to cut into making the cake. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is actually put the teaspoon of baking powder into the flour mix. And then we're going to sieve this into the bowl. Now, get it high, reasonably high above the bowl. It needs to get some air in it. And then we're just going to sieve that through. Nice big bowl helps with this. Okay. So that's all of the flour and the baking powder put in. The next thing we're going to do is throw in the chopped nuts into the mix. We're going to give that a little stir around. Try and distribute the nuts throughout the flour. And next we're going to add the spread or butter. And the 3 eggs. Two. And the last one. 3. And what we're going to need is a tablespoon of maple syrup. Right, now this bit's going to be a bit noisy because we're going to be using the hand whisk to whisk this in. So just bear with us on the noise level. Last but not least, we need to add the caster sugar in. Give that a nice good mix through it. Whoop. Turn it on rather than turn it off. Point the mixture looks a bit thick, you could add a little bit more maple syrup into it. That's not a problem. Okay, so now we're going to put that into the 2 tins. that are greased and lined on the bases. You can really see the texture of the nuts in there. Let's lift that up. Okay. And all we're going to do is just smooth these out. That looks like there's plenty of mixture in each one. And then we're going to pop them in the oven at about 180 degrees, and they're going to need to cook for about 25 minutes. So let's just give it a little bit of a spread out. And this one. As cakes always do, it should even itself out in the oven. So what we're going to do is we'll pop them in and we'll cook them for about 25 minutes in the middle of the oven. Okay, so we're going to now have a look at the topping and the filling. My husband really doesn't like frosting of any form normally, but this he really loves. This mascarpone and maple syrup mixture is a winner in our house. It really has gone down well in the cakes. So I'm just going to pour that in. Now, you don't have to use a mixer to do this, but when I've made it before, it's been quite difficult to get it in otherwise. So this mixes it in really quickly. And there we go, it's done. Just get all those bits off the bang them on there. That sounds really noisy, sorry about that. What I'll do is I'll use a spoon. And this is going to go as a filling with some of the baked pecans in, and also it's going to go on the top as the frosting. So what we're actually going to do next is prepare the pecan nuts for the oven, because they've got to be baked in the oven for about 10 minutes with some maple syrup, which makes them really crunchy and really nice to the taste. Okay, so what we're going to do is just roughly chop these pecan nuts. Now, I would say that these are probably about the most expensive part of the recipe, but I would say also that you cannot put them in. It is definitely the best thing for the cake. The texture and the taste of this is perfect. So anyway, we're just going to roughly chop these pecan nuts. It won't take too long. So there's about 100 grams here. Now what we're actually going to do is, because we've got two sides to our oven, I'm going to actually cook these in the other side of our oven. What you could do to make your life easier is when your cakes are cooked and they are cooling, you could just make this at that point. Then you don't have to make it while while they're in the oven. It's just that we have two ovens, so I'm doing it this way today. Okay, it shouldn't take 2 minutes to chop these roughly. Right, okay, so they're nice and roughly chopped. What I'm going to do now is just push them onto the tray, which I've just lightly greased actually. The maple syrup will make them stick, and that is a nice crunchy texture as you have to scrape them off, because obviously the maple syrup itself bakes on there. Spread it out a little bit, and then we're going to pour that over. The maple syrup, there's about 2 tablespoons there. Just give that a quick mix around. Make sure the pecans have got some of the maple syrup on them. And then we're just going to pop it into a preheated oven that's at about 200 degrees, and you will need to time this. It's imperative that they do not burn. They will need to cook for only 10 minutes maximum, because they will go over and they'll burn, and we do not want that to happen. Okay, let's pop them in the oven then. Okay. Actually, the reason that we okay, let's pop these in the oven. Now, the reason I say to only cook them for 10 minutes is that the nuts will probably turn bitter if they go over. So it's really imperative to stick a timer on and cook them for the 10 minutes only. Okay then, I think when we come back to it, we'll be taking those out, and we'll be about ready to take the cakes out, which is good news. Right, the cakes are ready now, and I've also taken the pecan nuts out of the oven as well. I'll give you a look at those in a second. What I advise you do is just take a knife and just run it around the edge just before you tip it out. And then what we're going to do is just put the tray over. Turn it on its head up. Whoops, okie dokie. That should come out nice and easy. Okay, we'll just leave it there for a minute because we're going to peel that off. Let's run the knife around this one. Just tip that on there. And pop it on the tray to just cool. We're just going to quickly take off these liners. She says, hopefully they'll come off nice and easy. Went fairly well. There's one. Okay. Just quickly get them over. Okay, and they're going to need to just cool for, I'd say, about 20 minutes, half an hour, just so they're totally cool. And if you just have a look at the nuts now, they've got a lot darker, as you can tell, and the maple syrup has almost soaked in and made them stick together. They taste really, really, really lovely. The nuttiness comes out when you bake them, and obviously with the maple syrup on there as well, they are going to be, as when we've spread between the layers, the filling, these will be put on, and then they'll go on the top as well. Okie dokie, when the cakes are cooled, we'll film putting that together, and we'll come back to that in a second. on. Put it down a little bit. And get the rest of this topping on the top. Give it a good spread around. Smooth it out a bit. There's a bit left, I could shove a little bit extra in the inside there. Right, we're just going to top this off now with the rest of these pecanlets. There's quite a lot of them. Actually, if they're left over, these make a really nice snack. I wouldn't suggest it was very particularly healthy, but they are they're really yummy. Right, okie doke. Nearly there. Right, so there we have it. Our maple and pecan cake. Right, it's cooked. It looks really, really good. I'm going to take a really good big bite now and tell you what I think of it. It's got so many different layers. The smokiness of those pecans comes through, as I said from before, and the nuts that have been cooked in the cake have gone slightly softer, but they still add lots of texture to that cake mix. It's sweet and it's fabulous. So what I'm going to suggest you all do is give it a go. I'd love to hear what you think about it. If you make the cake, put in the comments down below, and like and share this with your friends. If you make this and somebody else really loves it, I'd love them to go on the YouTube channel, try and make it themselves, and leave me some comments. My cake seems to be going down well, so Treacleb Bake is doing well, and we are going to come back with another what am I going to do with this video soon as well, and maybe think about doing another series called Everyday Foods. Some of my family members have had experience by cooking and have said, oh, could you make that on your video? So I'm going to be looking at some of my everyday recipes as well. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate you taking the time to look at the video, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye!